Hey guys, thanks for joining us. I'm Jen and you're here with Press Pass LA, and we are on location in Salt Lake City, and we have the cast of the new family-friendly drama Granite Flats on BYU TV. I have here today with me Jonathan Morgan-Height, Richard Gunn, and Ethan Wills, and they're going to tell us a little bit about their characters. Richard, do you want to start and tell us about your role as the sheriff in Granite Flats?
Sure. Okay, hi, I'm Richard Gunn. I play John Sanders, who is the chief of police of Granite Flats, which is the small town where the story takes place in Colorado. And I've got 5 kids and a wife named June. And I've been chief of police for 4 years in the town. And right now my character is investigating some mysterious metal objects that have fallen from the sky, and they've landed around town and caused some damage. And so I've my character's gone around town looking into where they might have came from. And there's also been an explosion at the military base, which is in the town. There's a military base in town, and so my character thinks there might be a correlation between the two. Okay, so it turns out in season 1 that I've already found the correlation between the fallen objects and the base explosion.
And in the show, isn't it? It seems that there's some thought that, hey, it could be kind of extraterrestrial. It could be there's
we don't know.
More tension because it's 1962.
Well, at first we think it might be. Well, I don't think it. My son Timmy thinks it might be aliens and his friends. One of them's played by Jonathan here. But what we realize is that it was actually a Soviet spy satellite that crashed in the reservoir near the town and was dropping debris as it was falling out of orbit.
Well, I'm Jonathan Morgan-Height, and I play Arthur. And I'm like a California kid, more used to kind of like, it's a kind of different, it's a different world almost from California to Colorado in 1962. And I moved to this new town, and it's Granite Flats, and the first night I see a comet, or what I think is a comet in the beginning, streak across the sky. And my dad was Air Force pilot, and he died, and he was kind of into the whole space thing, and he taught me how to kind of track comets and all these new space things. And I make all these calculations, and I discover that I kind of plan out a trajectory path, and I think that it's in the reservoir, and I look, and obviously I don't think to look under the reservoir, but it's in there, but I think, oh, well, I guess I'm not really that good. And my friends Madeline and Timmy, Timmy's kind of an interesting character. He introduced himself in the beginning, and he's very energetic and has a wild imagination. And when he hears about the comet, he's like, well, comets? Well, maybe it's aliens. So we're like, no, I don't know about that. But Madeline and Timmy and I start to kind of mesh together, and we make a better relationship, and we find that investigating and being kind of detectives like Timmy's dad really bring us together and make a really good friendship. So, yeah.
My name is Ethan Wills. My character is the classic, just big bully. He doesn't really care about these people. He just wants to put a hurt on them because I don't like them. Well, Arthur comes into town and he ruins my controlled environment. So I feel a special need to be mean to him. And the reason that I'm really mean to people is because I don't have a controlled environment at home. The reason I don't have a controlled environment at home is because my dad is an alcoholic who just is super mean to me. He verbally abuses me all the time, and I just have to sit there and take it because I have no other family, and he's the last of my family, and I just have to be there for him. And I'm loyal to him, and I know that he didn't leave me when my mom left me. So I feel this complicated relationship that I love my dad, but he's really hurting me. So that's why I want to hurt them.
All right, guys, thanks for telling me a little bit about your characters. Now we're going to take a look at this clip and get more inside the world of Granite Flats.
Arthur, honey, we're almost there. Are you awake?
Gonna come out here to this little base in the middle of nowhere?
Have a great first day.
Okay.
Your record of service at Edwards was impeccable, but I see none of that in your behavior today.
Boys and girls, we have a new student joining us. His father passing, something that he's gonna have to deal with.
If I can ask, where did he go?
You were my kid, I'd split too.
What are you waiting for? Give me all you got, why don't you?
Arthur, slow down! Let me go! Stop it this instant!
You ever see anything like this?
Sir's pretty space age.
Don't go getting paranoid on me, Johnny Sanders.
Holy cow. G-Man.
Now I want to know what you're going to do about it.
Into the basement, everybody, now!
You still have to duck and cover?
All right, well, we're back with the boys here, and I'd like to ask you guys, this show only started airing in April and has already got, the attention of 1.75 million viewers for the pilot, and it's growing. This is one of the biggest premieres right now. You're capturing the audience, and I want to know why. Do you think it is filling, a void for family-friendly entertainment?
I think that's exactly what it's doing. Yeah, it's filling a void, and you can tell. I mean, I can tell by the response that the show gets on Facebook. People are like, "Oh, I'm so happy that I can watch this show with my children, and I don't have to worry about any, swearing and nudity, violence, anything inappropriate for, for a young child." I mean, people say they're my friend's 4-year-old is a big fan of the show, and she's totally following it too, which is amazing. And then also, and then my friend is at the same time, he says, "Well, it's cool because I can watch it too, and it's interesting for me. I'm not bored with it. It's not like Barney or something like that."
It's got that family-friendly entertainment, but it's kind of got that X-Files mix in there because you're trying to solve the mystery, and you get really engaged. You bring up a good point about the social media. I mean, you guys have on your Facebook page over 20,000 fans liking a particular post or a photo, and that really also kind of bridges the generation gap between kind of father-son now, because kids today are really engaged online.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Kids are engaged online. They're used to being able to see things on demand, which is another aspect of the show that I think is really cool, is that people can go online to byutv.org and just watch whatever episode they want at any time. So you don't have to wait for it to rerun on the air. And kids are so adept with technology now that I'm sure young children can navigate the internet and find the show.
Well, the thing about the show is that, the whole thing is that you could watch it, any kid can watch it, and so can, it's not targeted to a certain audience. It could be anyone watching it. And it kind of, even for kids that I know, even my friends watch it, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, that's actually really good. I wasn't expecting it to be that good." And it's really interesting because there's not many shows today that a kid can watch with their parents, because either it's too adult for the kid or it's too young for the adult. So this kind of captures the whole audience of any age range. So I think it's a really great idea, and it's kind of that Little House on the Prairie idea of anyone can watch it, and you can watch it with the whole family. And if maybe a child doesn't understand part of the show, it's fun to talk about too. The adult or the dad or the mom can talk to the kid and say, "Well, this is when I was a kid, this is what was happening," and blah, blah, blah. So it's actually a really good idea, and it worked really well.
Like this. Great. Well, Ethan, we want to have you talk a little bit about, your character brings up a really topical discussion of bullying that you see in the news right now. It's all over. Tell us about kind of preparing to play that antagonist role, but also how you think it really highlights, an actual problem and opens discussion for fathers and sons to have about this issue.
Yeah, well, I think all bullying happens for a reason. These bullies aren't just like heartless kids who just love hurting other people. They have a reason that they do this. I'm not like defending it, but I know it's a horrible thing, but they have these reasons, and these bullying can be prevented. And I've never been the bully. If anything, I would have been bullied. So because I've always been like the tiny little kid in school, because I'm the really short kid in my class. So I would have been bullied. So I'm just I'll watch some movies and like TV shows and talk to my friends about when they've been bullied, and I'll gain aspects of what I should do in these situations. And I just find things that I should do, and I have this like little Wallace mindset that I go to when I need to be a bully or be sad, stuff like that.
And do you think over the course of the show we're going to kind of see a little bit more inside of your character and kind of what motivates him, and that he's really a lot more like the other kids than you would initially think?
Yeah, because at the beginning we see Wallace as the bully, and throughout the show we figure out why he is like that and maybe if he'll be redeemed. So, yeah.
Great. All right, well, now that we know a little bit more about the characters, we are going to take a look at this clip and see how the father-son dynamic pans out in this apology scene. Let's take a look.
Now, I know there's plenty of blame to spread around, but I'd like you to apologize to Wallace for your part in the fight on Friday.
Really, it was nothing. Nothing? How sad are you feeling?
Wallace, I'm sorry for helping beat you up.
You didn't beat me up. We sure did.
Arthur, that's enough.
No thanks.
In this scene you just saw, I do my character John is kind of a father figure to all the kids and trying to help them to all get along with each other. But in terms of my relationship, John's relationship with his son Timmy, Timmy isn't like John. Has 3 boys, and the other boys are not like Timmy at all. They're more sports oriented. I guess you would say typical boys, and Timmy is a little bit quirky and odd and very into comic books and very excitable and gregarious. And I don't. And in the beginning of the series, I think it's pretty clear that John doesn't really know how to deal with him and how to relate to him. And then over the course of the 8 episodes, you see their relationship develop, and you see John learning how to interact with Timmy and gaining a better understanding of him. And really what it comes down to, I think, is an appreciation for Timmy's eccentricities.
Jonathan, we'd love to hear you talk a little bit about your character here. And you've recently been orphaned by your father's passing. And do you want to tell us a little bit about how that kind of affects your character?
Yeah, so, I mean, pretty much the whole reason I'm in Granite Flats is because my dad, Arthur's dad, died in a plane crash. And it's kind of like, it's not, the problem is that I didn't have much closure because my dad didn't die, and like we found the body, and there was just like in one of the episodes, it was just an empty box. So, it's kind of like I don't have somebody there to be the father figure, and I think even though I kind of give John a lot of kind of attitude and sass, I actually take a certain liking to him because he is a steady personality and kind of there for me even in weird kind of ways, because he's one of my best friend's dads.
And how do you think kind of playing this role maybe helps kids out there who maybe don't have a father figure to look up to?
I think that this actually could take like the place of a lot of people who in real life who might have somebody who left them or died or something like that, because there is always somebody that can be there for you. And I think that this kind of encompasses that.
You think the show could kind of open up discussions in real families?
Yeah, absolutely. And it also goes back to that whole idea that parents and kids can watch it together and talk about it after. So, or
Father's Day is just around the corner here. Any plans for your own dad? Do you bring any of that father-son relationship into your work?
yeah, well, I'm not allowed to I'm not allowed to say when I'm going to get him. It's quite secret. But I'm just going to hang out with my dad, and I think that the show is kind of brings a new kind of whole thought process onto Father's Day. So, yeah.
Great. Ethan, we'd love for you to tell us a little bit more about kind of your relationship and your father-son relationship. Again, you are a character that is sort of missing that relationship in your role. How do you bring your personal father-son relationship into that when you play that character?
So, my real-life father is honestly nothing like my on-stage father. But I use, aspects of what if this were to happen to me? I imagine what I would do in these situations, and I know, I would be angry, too, and I kind of justify Wallace's actions a little bit. But I think the main reason I attack Timmy the most is because he's got an amazing dad. He's got the dad that's there for him. And I've got this alcoholic, verbally abusive dad who has, got no responsibility to anybody, and his dad is the chief of police. And I feel really jealous of Timmy, and that's why I really go after him. And the fact that Arthur still has his mom who's there for him as well, and the fact that he keeps on crying about his dad really gets me angry because I've got a horrible dad and I don't have a mom. So I just feel like I've got it so much worse than all these people. Why can't I get a break?
And do you think that kind of opens up that discussion when kids are watching this, with their parents, or kids who are watching it maybe by themselves, who maybe don't have that support system at home to feel like they're not alone and there's other people, there's a representation of them on screen now?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of nerve-wracking because I have to be there. I'm the role model for those kids. I have to show them what they should do in these situations because it's a nice family show that a lot of kids are going to watch, and if they've got, I've seen a lot, I've been on Facebook, and I've seen a lot of people have taken a liking to Wallace because they feel sad for him. So it's a lot of pressure just to be that kind of character because I honestly have no idea. I've never had any experiences being a bully or losing a family member or just being locked out or feeling independent because there's so many people even in the Granite Flats that I can just count on for them to be there for me. So
and it's kind of a testament to the show that people are reaching out to you guys and seeing you guys as role models already.
Yeah.
So just want to finish up with one last thing. Why don't you tell me a little bit about what it's like being out there on set? You're shooting on location. You guys I'm sure have become friends, maybe like brothers. Tell me a little bit about working together.
Well, we're all up there for a very long time. So we do lots of fun things. We went skiing many times up here.
Not when you're supposed to be shooting.
No.
Only after.
Yeah, but we do lots of fun things together. We'll go out and we'll eat dinner. We'll eat together lots of times with all the crew. We're really good friends with the crew and the cast. It's just a good family environment up there. Everybody's just kind of like friends up there. So, yeah.
Jonathan, what do you think? I mean, it's set in 1962. You get to wear some pretty cool costumes, and there's a lot of interesting kind of set decoration going on. What is that like being on set?
Well, it's kind of interesting, too, because one of, Arthur, they try and, for wardrobe, they always try and have only actual things from 1962. So sometimes you look inside the sleeve and there's red marks or kind of food stains or something like that. But up there, it's so great. Everyone's like a family, and Ethan was saying, we go during the summer. We went to an amusement park. We went to dinner often, and it's just, I don't know, being on set, it kind of, you are in a different world. You're actually in 1962, and then you kind of step off, and it's oh, we're back in 2013. So yeah, it's really fun. It's really interesting to be on set.
And Richard, we just want to finish off with you. We're hoping this is going to get renewed for a second season. It's looking good. Where do you kind of see the show going from here?
Oh man, I don't know. I'm not sure what their plans are. They've left it in a place where there's so many directions it can go in, and I think there's some really meaty material to get into, especially with the Slim character being revealed as a spy, and then they've still left the storyline open with Frank and the medical experiments, the drug experiments that they're doing with him. And the kids have all these mysteries that they can solve in the future. And, but of course they could turn it on its head too. Who knows? It's really wide open.
All right, well, thanks for joining us here today. That's a wrap with the cast from Granite Flats. We're looking forward to a second season, but if you want to watch the episodes, make sure to log in right now to byutv.org. Thanks for joining us, and have a happy Father's Day.